you need to turn the momentum, and they've slightly done that with a few bombs and raids, but actually what you're having is you're having the leadership go back to their sanctuaries. Next, there has not been a larger conversation about civilized countries, those, once again, that are concerned about the barbarism of IS and really unleashing other strategies, effects in the virtual space, relooking at laws domestically, understanding the foreign fighter pipeline that brought them there. All of those require leadership and conversations. I don't know if they're going on right now.
Well, Scott, we also heard from the State Department today saying that there are, quote unquote, a few Americans still being held by ISIS. What does the future hold for them? I mean, if we're questioning the validity of this video, maybe it happened a while back, maybe they're releasing this, is there any reason to believe that the State Department might be less than accurate when they're saying a few Americans are still being beheaded? Do you believe that maybe all those Americans have also been beheaded and we're just waiting for subsequent videos to come out?
Right. I think it's a mixture. I think certainly, there might be a few others held captives. They were held by smaller subgroups, and now they've become a huge commodity, almost a value for having them. Secondly, look at the tremendous, awareness that IS has gotten. It's on every news media outlet. It's a conversation, a topic around every coffee table. That is a value in itself. So as long as they continue to do that, and that value is their perpetuation of their myth or their ideology, they're going to continue to do these activities.
Scott, I wanted you to hear this too, because I've just been handed this. One of the websites out there that always carries a lot of these videos is Live Leak. And as a matter of fact, we had some people even here in the studio who said, go to Live Leak right away and see. Live Leak has put out a statement on this, which I think is rather telling about where we are right now in the battle, if you will, against ISIS. I'm just going to read pieces of this. We understand some of you still won't like this decision. We respect that. We will continue to allow posts which display the reality on the ground in the Middle East and those which catalog the brutal atrocities carried out by groups such as IS. This is the first time we've ever made a decision to politically censor material. That should give you an idea as to how strongly we believe in our decision not to be played by a cheap violin. So here's a group that has basically said they are not going to allow this video to be carried. I want you to hold on 1 second here for a minute, if you will, because I now want to switch very quickly to Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, who joins us here on MidPoint. He is one of our strategists, one of our military individuals, if you will, who certainly knows the players on the ground and his insight. I only got a couple of minutes left here, Lieutenant Colonel. Your immediate reaction and what you are hearing from your sources thus far.
Well, savages. I mean, Ed, unfortunately, I wish I could say this wasn't expected, but by the fact that this was a clear threat stated by ISIS, essentially the intelligence community was bracing for this. It was known that this would be their next step. And it was hoped, and let me be clear for your audience, this is what's going on. Our lack of action is not based on lack of intelligence. It's based on bad policy. We talked about this earlier on MidPoint. This is where good intelligence meets bad policy. And the one thing that President Obama continues to completely ignore is that ISIS will not be negotiated with, no matter how nice he tries to treat it. David Cameron had it completely correct. We have to accept these folks at face value. And now, Ed, we have the added horrific, visage of seeing these reporters being butchered. So right now is the time that we need to double down and reassess our ability to go in and start clearing out ISIS in Syria. And for goodness sake, there's at least another 20 hostages which are still in there who will be brutally beheaded if we choose to do nothing at all to act.
What, again, in your opinion, is that double down? What does it need to consist of?
The one thing that Chuck Hagel said last week, or week before last now, is that we have never seen anything like this. And there's two things we have to do immediately. First, we have to go into Syria. We have to go into where the command and control is and go after the guys who are orchestrating this. And they are playing us like a fiddle. This is exactly what they want. They want to have this media outrage, but what they won't expect is us to fight back immediately. They think this is going to take a while to get our act together. We should act immediately. We should go in. We should be decisive. And I've talked about this with you and others. I would go in with bombers.